Good morning, everyone. Before we start, let's introduce ourselves. Hi, I'm Yasmin. I'll be the leader for today's discussion.
Hello everyone, I'm Liana Elia.
Hi, I'm Angelia.
Hi everyone and good morning. I'm Nabila Iza.
Hello, I am Sabrina Gila.
Hi everyone, I'm Hanis Aliana.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Azah Ayuni.
All right, thank you, everyone. Today, we'll be discussing social media distractions in the workplace. In visionary media agency, staff are often seen scrolling through TikTok and Instagram during working hours. They say it helps them to stay creative and updated with trends. But the management disagrees and believes that too much social media usage actually reduces productivity and focus. So, in this discussion, we'll look at the factors, consequences, and solutions to this issue. Let's begin with the first factor, FOMO, or the fear of missing out. Well, let me begin the discussion with my point on one of the main factors, which I think is the main root of the problem. I believe a big reason employees get distracted by social media is FOMO, the intense fear of missing out. Let's think about it. Social media moves at an incredible speed these days. Every hour, sometimes every minute, there's a new post, a new viral sound, a new video, or some exciting development that people feel compelled to see and be a part of. Consequently, many employees feel a deep need that if they don't check their phones constantly, they'll miss out on something crucial, funny, or relevant. Well, this feeling is magnified for those who work in creative or marketing related industries, where staying updated isn't just a preference, but actually it feels like a professional requirement to stay competitive. Well, for example, an employee might initially open TikTok with a genuine intention. So let's say they just want to check what's trending for a new marketing campaign idea. But before they know it, they would end up scrolling for a much longer time than intended. Well, this is because the social media apps are intentionally designed with algorithms to be highly addictive. They offer an endless stream of recommendations, short, captivating videos, and eye catching content that will make it incredibly difficult for a user to naturally put the phone down. We can say that the pull is very strong. Therefore, the underlying reason behind this distraction isn't just a simple lack of discipline. It's also about how these platforms cleverly trigger psychological reward responses in our brains. The constant availability of new, stimulating content creates a craving for that excitement, making people feel like they must check again and again. And it will becomes an addictive loop that drains their focus. So, the benefit of understanding this factor is that companies can shift from a punitive approach to a more supportive one. Instead of implementing a harsh, complete ban on social media, they can create awareness programs or short digital well-being sessions to teach employees how to manage their time and resist being controlled by FOMO. Well, this way, employees can still tap into social media for work-related information or creative inspiration without letting it completely derail their performance. We have to address the psychology and not just the action.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes people that even mean to distract, they just want to stay updated, but then they lose track of time.
Sorry to interrupt, but I agree with Yasmin. The fear of missing out can really make people anxious. Even when you are working, your mind keeps thinking about what you might be missing on social media. It's not easy to ignore that.
Exactly. And in our kind of industry, being in the loop can actually feel like part of the job. Some people might not even realize that they are getting distracted.
Exactly. And that is why finding a healthy balance is the absolute key. Employees can and should still use social media as a tool for creativity, but they must establish a firm boundary and control over the amount of time they allocate to it. We need to empower them to manage this, which leads us to the next factor.
The last factor would be lack of supervision. When there's not enough monitoring or checking in at work, employees tend to use their phones more often without realizing how much time they are spending. In many modern workplaces, especially those with flexible working environments, employees are given a lot of freedom to manage their own time. While that can be a good thing, it can also lead to distractions. When no one is really watching or checking progress regularly, people might start scrolling through Instagram or TikTok more frequently. It starts small, just a few minutes, but can turn into a habit. The reason is that too much freedom can sometimes reduce self control. Even the most responsible employees might give in to distractions when there's no sense of accountability or deadlines being monitored. The benefit of realizing that is that management can apply like supervision. This doesn't mean strict control or constant monitoring, but small things like regular progress updates, short daily check ins, or weekly reports can help. These methods remind employees to stay focused without creating a stressful environment.
Um, Excuse me for interrupting, but if supervision is too strict, it could make employees uncomfortable, right? People might feel like they're being watched all the time.
Exactly. That's why it has to be balanced. Too much control can reduce motivation, but a little bit of structure keeps everyone focused and accountable.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I agree. Like supervision, show trust while still keeping employees responsible for their work. It gives a healthy balance between a freedom and a discipline.
Yes, that's exactly the goal. Accountability, not control. With balanced supervision, people can enjoy flexibility while still maintaining professionalism.
All right, we have talked about the factors that cause social media distractions. Now let us move on to the consequences. What actually happens when employees spend too much on social media during the first consequence we will discuss is the drop in productivity. Social media distractions can lead. All right, we have talked about the factors that cause social media distractions. Now let us move on to the consequences. What actually happens when employees spend too much time on social media during working hours? The first consequence we will discuss is the drop in productivity. Social media distractions can lead to a significant drop in productivity among employees. When workers constantly check their phones or scroll through social media platforms such as Instagram or X, Twitter, their attention becomes divided between work, tasks, and online content. For instance, someone might be writing a report or designing a campaign, and suddenly they get a notification from social media. They will think, I will just check it for a minute. But that 1 minute quickly turns into 10 or 15 minutes. After that, it is hard to get back into the same level of focus they had. The benefit of avoiding this problem is that employees can complete their work more efficiently and with better quality. When they focus on one task at a time, they enter a flow state where they can think more creatively and finish tasks faster. It also helps reduce stress because they don't have to rush at the end of the day. to meet that overall, controlling social media distractions is not about removing creativity of fun, but it is about protecting productivity and ensuring that everyone can do their best work without unnecessary interruptions.
Yeah, I've seen that happen too. It might seem harmless at first, like taking a small break to check your phone, but if it happens often, it really slows down your progress.
Pardon me, but I would like to say that I agree with Angel. Even checking for just a minute adds up to hours by the end of the week. That's a lot of lost time that could have been used productively.
Exactly. And when you think about a whole team doing that, the overall productivity of the company really drops.
Angel, can you repeat?
Exactly. And when you think about a whole team doing that, the overall productivity of the company really drops. That's why managing focus is so important for both individuals and organizations.
All right, thank you so much, Angel. So let me uh, start with my point. So for my point, I want to talk about poor professionalisms, which I believe one of the consequences of social media distractions. Honestly, I think this is something that a lot of us might not even notice when it's happening. Like, imagine during a meeting, everyone's supposed to be discussing ideas, but someone's half focused because they're scrolling through Instagram, TikTok, or any other social media platform. It might not seem like a big deal at first, but if a client or even your manager walks in and says that, it really doesn't look good. You know, even if we're using social media for work related stuff like checking trends or campaign ideas, the timing and settings still matter. Doing it during meetings or when people are talking just sends the wrong message. Um, it's not about what we are doing, but how it looks to others. And professionalism isn't just about doing your task well, right? It's also about how we present ourselves, how we communicate, how attentive we are, and whether we show respect to the people around us. I feel like these small behaviors really reflect our attitude at work. At the end of the day, professionalism has to be trust and credibility. If a client sees us being focused and respectful, they'll feel confident that we can handle their work seriously. It's not just about the output, it's the impressions we leave that matters. I think that's my opinion on the consequences.
Yeah, that's true, Nabila. Even if someone's very skilled, what people see in a person is matter the most. Professional image can make or break a company reputation.
Yeah, but that's a very great point, Nabila. Professional image is something that sticks in clients' minds. You might do your work well, but if you're seen as careless or distracted, it can really overshadow your skills.
Exactly. And it's not just about clients, even among coworkers, when someone's constantly on their phone, it kind of affects how others see them too. You start thinking, are they really paying attention? Are you guys really paying attention to what I said? It's just not a good look. And that's how it slowly becomes part of the work culture, which is why we really have to be aware of how we carry ourselves at work.
Everyone can hear me?
Yes.
So for my point, I will talk about the consequences too, which is miscommunication. When employees are distracted by social media, they often miss important updates or messages from their teams or supervisor. These distractions may seem harmless at first, but it can easily lead to a mistake, delays, and misunderstanding in the workplace. For example, an employee might overlook an urgent message from their team leader while replying a personal text, or forget to check a group chat because they are too focused on social media notifications. These small moments of inattention can result in tasks being done incorrectly, deadlines being missed, or instruction being misunderstood, all of which affect team performance. The reason behind this is simple. Divided attention reduces both accuracy and awareness. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree. Just one missed message can delay an entire project.
Sorry to interrupt, Angel, but I have not done with my phone yet. I will repeat it. The reason behind this is simple, which is divided attention reduces both accuracy and awareness. When people attempt to multitask between work and social media, they don't process information properly. As a result, communication becomes unclear and important details are often lost. If this issue addressed by limiting distractions, the benefits are clear. Workflow becomes smoother, collaborations improve, and there are fewer unnecessary conflicts caused by miscommunications. When everyone stays focused and attentive during working hour, messages are received, understood, and acted upon more effectively. It leads to a more productive and harmonious workplace.
Yeah,
Angel, is your line okay?
yeah, I agree. Just one missed message can delay an entire project, especially if it is something urgent or time sensitive.
I'm sorry, but I think that's a really good point. Maybe companies can set rules like no phones during meetings or phones on silent mode to avoid distractions.
Exactly. Even simple rules like that can make a big difference. When people are fully present, communication becomes clearer and more effective.
Now that we've talked about the causes and effects, I'll move on to one of the solutions to reduce social media distractions in the workplace. My point is about introducing a digital break schedule. Instead of completely banning phones or social medias, companies can allow employees to use their phones during specific scheduled time. For example, after completing a big task or during lunch, staff could be given around 10 minutes to check their social media, reply to messages, or simply unwind. This approach helps to control the urge to check phones secretly during working hours. When employees know there's a set time for it, they can focus better on their tasks without constantly thinking about notifications. It trains self-discipline and helps employees to manage their attention more effectively. At the same time, this solution also supports mental well-being. Nowadays, social media is a normal part of daily life, and completely cutting it off can cause stress and anxiety, especially among younger workers. Having structured digital breaks give employees time to refresh their minds, relax, and return to work feeling more focused. It shows that the company understands modern work culture and values work-life balance. There are already companies that practice this idea. For example, some modern offices implement a 10-minute tech break for every 2 hours. And interestingly, the result is not more distraction but higher productivity because workers no longer feel the need to constantly or the need to hide and sneak around with their phones. The rule feels fair and everyone benefits from it. In short, digital break schedule is not about allowing people to scroll endlessly. It's about culture, structure balance, and discipline. It keeps employees refreshed, reduces distractions, and builds mutual trust between management and staff.
That's a fantastic idea. It's practical and promotes balance between work and relaxation.
Sorry to interrupt, but I agree, Hanis. It also shows that the company trusts employees to manage their time wisely, which builds a positive relationship between management and staff.
Exactly. And when employees feel trusted, they become more motivated to perform better and follow the rules responsibly.
Now let's move on to my point, another solution. To make it truly effective, I think it should go hand in hand with awareness and clear policies on social media use. Many employees don't even realize how much time they spend scrolling or how it affects their focus and productivity. So, before enforcing any rules, it's important to make them aware of the impact of their behavior. For instance, the HR department, Human Resource Department, could organize monthly workshops or short awareness sessions about digital well being, time management, and self control. These can include fun activities like tracking one's screen time for a week or setting mini challenges to reduce unnecessary scrolling. When employees become conscious of their own habits, they're more likely to change them voluntarily. Apart from workshops, the company could also send reminder emails or put up posters with short motivational messages. Something simple like stay focused, stay creative, or 5 minutes online can turn into a 50. Can help employees reflect on their actions without feeling pressured. Now, besides awareness, it's equally important to have a clear and transparent social media policy. The company should outline what counts as acceptable usage. For example, it's fine to use social media during lunch breaks or when doing research related to work, but personal use during office hours should be limited. Having clear boundaries prevents misunderstandings and ensures fairness for everyone. The benefit of this approach is that it focuses on education instead of punishment. Rather than blocking apps or constantly monitoring employees, the company encourages them to be responsible on their own. This builds trust, self discipline, and a positive work culture where everyone understands the expectations. To summarize, awareness and clear policies complement solutions like Hannes's digital break schedule. Awareness helps employees understand why control is needed, and policies show how to put it into action. Together, they can reduce distractions, improve productivity, and create a more mindful and professional workplace.
Yeah, I agree. When people understand the purpose of the rule, they're more likely to follow it.
Amazing. What a good point you have, Azah. Awareness and consistency are really the main keys to positive change in a company.
Exactly, and that's how we can maintain both productivity and a positive environment.
All right, everyone. Thank you for the very great discussions. Let's wrap up with a very quick summary, shall we? So, we identified the factors as formal and lack of supervision. The consequences include lower productivity, poor professionalism, and miscommunication. And our solutions are setting digital break schedules, building awareness, and having clear communication guidelines. So, overall, we can all agree that social media isn't completely bad. Well, it depends on how it's managed. So, the key is balance. giving employees freedom to stay creative while maintaining discipline and professionalism. So thank you everyone for participating actively. And this concludes our discussion on social media distractions in the workplace. Thank you for the discussion, guys.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, everyone.
everyone.
All right.
Thank you
Thank you,
everyone for the
everyone.
time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank
See you
you.
when I see you.
Okay.